So hi everyone, today we will be talking about T.S. Eliot. T.S. Eliot was one of the new critics, and as I told you in my other videos as well, so we will be talking about his three terms. Number one, autotelic text. Number two, the theory of impersonality, and the third one is objective correlative. So first of all, I will tell you his works. Number one, tradition and individual talent. First work. And the second one is Hamlet. As you all know that Hamlet was one of the plays that Shakespeare wrote. Hamlet and his problems. These two works came in 1920. And then in 1922 came the Metaphysical Poets. Metaphysical Poets. And one another work, that is the uses of poetry and the uses of criticism. These two works came in 1922, right? These four works, and then next work we have in 1934, After Strange Gods. After Strange Gods, 1934. And then in 1954 came the Three Voices in the Poetry. 1954. And the last work that I am going to discuss or I am going to give you is The Frontiers of Criticism. Of Criticism, 1956. So I think these works must be suffice for you guys to remind you that this is literature, and this is very important that we must know the works of the writers and their publication dates and all these things. So now here we go with our first term, that is autotelic. Autotelic text. So now as the name suggests that autotelic, auto means automatic. Telic means which tells automatically. So it means that according to T.S. Eliot, he says that autotelic text is a text which tells about it itself. As I told you in my new criticism video that these new critics were so much focused about what? They were so much focused about language, about the text. So that is here that we can see that autotelic text. So autotelic text is totally self-dependent. Or you can say independent. Or self-contained. Means they are self-contained, they are totally complete in itself or in themselves. They are self-dependent or they are independent. They have no need of any writer. There is no need of any writer. There is no need of any context. No need, because these are texts which tells about themselves by themselves. So now it totally or it directly means that he is talking about the text, about the language, about the text on the page. So these texts are which tells about themselves by the use of literary devices like paradox, irony and ambiguity, just like William Empson also talks about ambiguity. So these texts are those texts which tells about themselves without the help of any writer or any context, any historical context or any extra thing, because they are totally independent. Only the main focus is the language. Okay, T.S. Eliot. So this is what this autotelic meant. So now I'll talk about the theory of impersonality. Theory of impersonality. So as the word suggests that impersonal means to depersonalize. So according to T.S. Eliot, he says that the artistic creation is the process of depersonalization. It means that poetry is an escape from emotion. And how poetry is an escape from emotion? For example, take for a moment Romanticism, or the Romantic age, or the Romantic writers. He rejects the notion of Romanticism, and he says that Romantic writers were so much personal about their writings, about their poems. If we take the example of Wordsworth or Coleridge and we pick up any poem randomly, so we find them in their poetry. This idea is also, somewhat similar to the idea of negative capability by John Keats. So John Keats says that the writer must not be present in his work, or if he is presenting something, he must present his feelings with the help of any character or object. So I have also made that video on negative capability. You can check it out. That is very old video. So theory of impersonality. He says that artistic creation is a process of depersonalizing, means you must keep your emotions and feelings away from your literary work. He says that writer is just a medium. A writer is just a medium who channelize or elaborates the concept. He says that all the artworks which were very great, like all the great works, have no kind of personal implications or personal things by the writer. So writer is just a medium, and he also compares this writer with the catalyst. So catalyst is a substance, I must say, catalyst is a substance which accelerates chemical reaction, but it remains totally unchanged. Totally unchanged means it is totally unaffected by the fusion that is taking place. So just like that, he says that writer is a catalyst. Whatever he does, he is just a medium, and whatever he does through the capability of his mind, through the capability of his genius. Just because of his genius, he creates a work of art or a literary work, and he remains totally impersonal. He emphasizes on the idea of being impersonal from the works, and he says that you must use your mind, and you are a medium, you must create things, but you must not be there personally. Because this idea came from the work Tradition and Individual Talent. He talks about tradition and the individual talent. He says that tradition is something which ends up your own personality. He says that whenever we write something, whenever we create a new work, so it alters the way in which the old works or the works which came before that new work, it alters all the ways by which those works were seen, right? So it modifies things, or it brings something new. So he says that whatever happens to that new creative work of art is what happens simultaneously, means at the same time, to those works which preceded it, right? So he says that just because of that, so that tradition does not overpower you, you must be totally impersonal from your work, because you are just a medium, and there is no need to put your emotions, too much emotions, in your work of art or in your creation, just like Romantics did. He was totally against Romanticism. So I hope it is totally clear. Theory of impersonality. And now very interesting thing, objective correlative. See, I have also made a video on objective correlative. You can check it out, that as well. So objective correlative. As the word suggests, objective correlative. It means you are correlating something with an object. So object, just for example, if I'm mad right now, mad and not in that sense that I'm insane. Mad means I'm totally mad with anger. I'm in wrath. So what will I do? Maybe I will just throw my marker like this. So what did I do? I correlated my anger with this whiteboard marker. And I threw this particular marker on board or on the floor. Just like when sometimes we fight with our siblings or with our parents. So that is a moment when we cannot do anything. We cannot beat up our parents. So what do? We just throw whatever is in our hand on the floor. Or we just give a punch to the wall like this and we hurt ourselves. So what are we doing? We are correlating our feelings, our emotions with that particular object. So he says, T.S. Eliot says, and let me tell you, this objective correlative, this term came from the essay Hamlet and His Problems. So in that essay, T.S. Eliot says that Hamlet is mad. But we cannot identify that why is he mad? What is the reason behind his state of mind? From which thing he is suffering? Right? Why? The only reason is that there is no objective correlative in that particular work. Because we cannot know that what is being happening with Hamlet. Why is he mad? Why is he behaving in certain manner? We have no idea about that. So we are always wondering. He says, T.S. Eliot says that neither Hamlet nor Shakespeare knew that why is he behaving in that manner, because there is no objective correlative. For an example, he says, T.S. Eliot says that although Shakespeare is, successful while creating objective correlatives in his other works. For example, if we take the example of King Lear. So we all know that King Lear is a tragic figure. Tragedy has happened with him. He is totally tensed. He's also mad, and he is walking in the jungle, right? And at the time when he's walking in the jungle, there is storm. There is storm in the jungle. The ambience, the scenario is totally horrible. So now that horrible scenario and that ambience tells us that yes, something is happening with King Lear. Means he is sad. He is a tragic figure. So that tells us that yes, he is a tragic figure. But he says that in this work, like Hamlet, there is no objective correlative. He ridicules this Hamlet by saying that there is no objective correlative, because objective correlative is a chain of events or a scenario or an ambience or an atmosphere that has been created by the writer to tell the real feel of the character, so that we can come to know that what is being happening with that particular guy, right? So I think that's it. Objective correlative is done. Autotelic text is done. Impersonal theory is done. So I'm done for today. So thank you so much. Please give me your reviews, and I will create a poll, because I got a suggestion that why don't you speak in English? Why don't you teach in English? You are a literature. You are a student of English literature. So see, I teach in the department as a research scholar, and I teach there in English. So here on YouTube, I thought that people come here to, while looking for some easiest way. So I thought that maybe you will understand good in your own mother tongue. So please give me your suggestions that in which language should I make my lectures? In Hindi, in English, or in mixed language, or in both languages. So please let me know so that I can go further with better things and with better options for you people. So for today, good night, because this is the night time I'm making videos. So I will say good night. If you are watching this in morning, so good morning, and if daytime, good noon and good afternoon, and namaste and shabba khair and whatever there is, and blah blah, and enjoy your life. Bye.